Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Roll-Wise Show, the place where we play games. Today, we're going to be actually playing a continuation of the Wildsea adventure, the One-Armed Scissor. Jeff is our Firefly, and he is going to be taking us through the verdant treetops of Wildsea. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to him, and he's going to set the scene, get us back going, so we can continue our adventure in our chainsaw ship. Jeff, do you want to remind people where we were, where we're going, and what we're doing?
Yeah. So you guys are on your ship, the Skeleton Key, and you are in search of a lost ship that has a shipment of rare books on it called the One-Armed Scissor. Its home port is, wow, I just forgot the whole city, the whole town. Anyhow, it was in our first episode. You guys spent the whole time there finding out information about the One-Armed Scissor. You have a rough idea of its course and an older map from in town that you are following. You have not found anything definitive yet, but you did have a couple of encounters with birds that randomly came and landed on the ship.
And we collected some salvage.
A couple of encounters with dinner.
Yeah. Mike got some dinner. You did get the salvage.
Was it paper salvage, or was it like paper that was covering?
It was like scrolls.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
but we ripped some of it, so I'm just gonna say it's paper, not actual scrolls anymore.
Well, at this part, everything is important, right?
Exactly.
So you continue to follow the faint trace. You believe that you're following a faint trace because the treetops grow back very quickly after a ship cuts through them. They're very healthy trees. And
we continued right after we found that empty nook where people had been staying, but no one had been around for a while.
Right, yeah. So where we are is you guys have been setting watches. You've been doing some rolls to see what happens on those watches, to see if you or any of the crew notice any signs of the One-Armed Scissor. You have actually been on a track that we've talked about, and we'll talk about it in the follow-up show a little bit, how those work. But it's exactly like you think it works, right? We're taking down boxes till you find enough clues to be able to use some skills to find something. And so you guys are on the ship. It's a new morning. Mike, what does your character do this morning as you head up onto the deck?
Okay. Probably more out of a like a phantom feeling than they need to stretch. As soon as I emerge from the deck, I put my arms every which direction, make sure the chassis moves appropriately, and of course I start about my day. At this point, it's basically getting everybody up and running in terms of nutrition, calories, make sure there's no scurvy, all that kind of stuff. And apparently I was able to at least make enough of a meal with the birds to have a soup stock ready for them and all that jazz. Now, as for lookouts, I think I'm going to go feed, I'm going to go give Brent's character. Brent, your character was Brom. I'm going to go give Brom some morning breakfast and see if he's got any ideas as to what we should do once we get this, once we find this One-Armed Scissor, because my character's one of my strives is that he wants to literally rescue an abandoned ship. So he has got a certain passion and a fire and intensity about understanding what our plan is and how we're going to save this ship.
Okay. Brom, what do you normally do in the morning? Do you meet with the captain, or do you do that over breakfast?
We meet with the captain, small breakfast, and then I get the kind of the directions and actions the captain wants done for the day, and I kind of direct traffic on the ship as he navigates. And then as far as the conversation with, what's your character's name again?
Jeremis.
As far as the conversation with Jeremis, the plan is just to rescue as many people as possible and salvage what we can from the One-Armed Scissor if it's wrecked, or if we can save the actual ship. Tow it or drag it back to the port town.
Sure. In your meeting today, the captain, as you guys were going over the map that you got in town or in port, uh, feels like you should be getting close to, on the route of the scissor, and that he wants you to make sure that maybe you run a double watch so that no clues are missed.
Hmm.
It doesn't get you any extra rolls, but it feels narratively like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we have a
Like,
double watch. We have a person up in the crow's nest and another person on the highest point of the bow to keep an
yeah,
eye out. Also keeping a lookout for the wolves, whatever they're called,
the pinwolves.
the pinwolves, because we've heard them a couple times.
You
So
have
we're
heard
kind of
pinwolves,
keeping a wary eye out, making sure that we don't get overtaken by pinwolves.
and you're also watching out for the what do they call the marauders? The pirate guys, the jackalbone marauders.
Yeah, we haven't seen any
Mhm.
signs of them yet that I can think of, but we
You
have
have
heard
not.
pinwolves. We
You
have
have heard
heard
pinwolves.
pinwolves,
Yep.
so the main thing is looking for like a sign of the pinwolves to keep an eye out. Um, and then we're always ready to fight off marauders if they come, but we're trying to keep an eye out for the pinwolves, and then any sign of the wreck or wreckage or people stranded. That's why we stopped at the hovel that we stopped at, the one that wasn't populated, is we were looking for survivors that may have
Right.
taken shelter there. So, my motivations are to protect the crew, any of both this ship and our ship. So, keeping an eye
Okay.
out for danger is my priority, as well as aiding the ship that might be lost.
All right. Well, since you're more closely tied with the watch, I forget who did it last time. I did not write that down. I probably shouldn't admit that, right? Do you want to go ahead and roll 2d6 and tell me the order of the rolls? We'll see
Sure. What
how
do you want
this
me
the
to?
first the day watch goes.
I'm just gonna roll it, and then
I think
I have two.
Discord's fine.
I don't have Discord up because it
Oh,
was causing problems.
then don't worry
Uh,
about it.
I rolled a 3 and a 2, but I'll bring Discord up.
No, no, you can. I trust you. So
But
the
I rolled a
three
3 and
gives
a
us
6.
that this is a nature result,
More birds?
and the two, the one of the crew comes to report to you that in the distance there's a tall shank, which are the trees that grow above the canopy. Right,
Mhm.
as tall as impossibly tall as all of these trees that you were sailing on the tops of are. The tall shanks are even taller. Um, but there appears to be something hanging from the bark of the tree, and they swear that it looks like it's chains. Dozens of sets of chains set into the trunk of the tree. What what do you do, Brent? What
Yeah, we
does
direct them to
Brom
go
do?
towards we go direct them to go to the tree because we need to check it out and see one, if they are chains, the metal is salvageable, which would be good. And then if they might be chains that hung for survivors or something like that. So we'll make towards that and see what it is.
Okay.
Warily maneuver towards the signifying the crow's nest, keep an eye out and move
Okay.
towards that.
Well, your crew is keeping an extra watch. You're deviating from the path a little bit, but you your path is unimpeded. Okay, as you head for the tall shank.
Mm-hmm.
The tension's growing on the ship a little bit as the crew is, you've been out at sea for several days now. They all seem to be performing their jobs well. You hear the sound of the wind, the smell of the fresh cut tree branches. That I don't know. I don't know what the smell is, but like when you cut grass or you
Yeah,
cut
that
down,
green
you ever cut
chlorophyll
trees?
smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you approach the tall shank. If you want to investigate the chains, you will have to organize a party to climb the tree, because your ship doesn't have like anti-grav engines
Yeah.
to check out
Yeah,
the chains.
we're prepared for that. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll have one of the crew members climb the tree. And I'll climb it
You
too.
don't appear to see anything connected, or at least anything that is full-size person-like connected to the
So yeah,
chains.
we'll go up and at least salvage the chains because the again the iron from the chains is probably valuable. So
Okay. You go up there. Uh, in your investigation, you do notice that It appears that there have been creatures chained up here. You can't tell what. There does appear to be dried blood, what you assume is dried blood, attached to the trees, but everything kind of smells musty and weathered and old, even though this is out in the open. Like, it's possible that something nefarious or awful happened here. Or maybe when the tall shank was shorter, the chains put on the tree and
Yeah,
it
exactly.
grew above the canopy. You don't know. There's nothing that that tells you that. But as you're gathering the chains, do you do anything else? Is there anything else that you're looking for?
We're just looking to see if there's no people or any indication that they belong to the one-armed scissor. Not really. We'll just salvage for the metal.
All right. With having a increased vantage point, do you go up there with like spyglass to look around, or
I have an excellent vault skill, so yes.
okay? Will you roll a d6 for me?
Sure. I can roll in Discord this time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Either way, live fire or Discord doesn't matter.
I rolled a 4.
All right.
How
Well,
does the
4
vault
gives
skill? And was that a vault skill or is that not a vault roll?
if you can tell me how it's a vault roll, you can get a +1 to it.
Isn't vault about scaling the trees outside off of the?
Oh yeah, no, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would apply in this instance.
So yeah, you feel more comfortable up there, like hanging on one-handed, as you scamper up and looking around, and then like going around the tree as well as. I would imagine going straight up and straight down is one thing, but like parading around.
Yeah, I
trunk.
probably take my fancy Corsair boots off to climb the tree and
Sure.
climb up it like an old like I used to when I was a deckhand and go all the way up to the top.
All right.
Like a spider monkey.
All right. So this the 5 gets you a mixed result. Right?
I rolled a 4.
I was giving you a +1 for the skill.
And I have a 3 friend vault skill.
Oh, you have a 3. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then tell you what, you have a 6, and a 6 is a success. So, funnily enough, accidentally finding the tree, the tall shank, you think that you can see in the distance on what you believe is the heading that you were on. You can see kind of tucked away in kind of a cove in the branches. You think you see a ship that doesn't appear to have any. From where you are, you can't see any activity.
Okay.
But you can't see the entirety like of the deck or anything. You can see a little bit of the back, but it does appear like it potentially pulled over for what reason you don't know.
And can I see any heraldry on the ship?
That is an excellent question. I'm gonna say that based on the description that you were given of the scissor, you are relatively sure that you have found the one-armed scissor, based on the shape and the descriptions. The big boom crane that they had, you can kind of see on the side of the ship. And while there are other ships that have the boom crane, the coloring like seems consistent with the description of the scissor and the boom crane, where that isn't a standard thing. It's more for loading and unloading, but theirs is a little unique in its size.
So I call out to the rest of the ship. I say, hark, there's another ship. And then after confirming visually that I think it's the scissor, I also say that as I start moving back down the tree,
Okay.
to guide the people for us to move towards the scissor.
And you being a seasoned sailor, you have a pretty good. I'm imagining you had a compass and took a bearing of some kind. You know what I mean? Like relative to the position at the tall shank.
Yeah.
And if you're back on the path, it does look like you'll be able to see it. You just need to get there.
Okay. And I do suggest that everybody get prepared just in case there's anything on the scissor that's dangerous.
Okay. So the captain takes your information under advisement, and this doesn't feel like a battle stations thing, but it does potentially prepare to repel border kind of thing, I guess. So the crew is getting ready. Jaramus, what do you do while the crew's getting ready? Are you going to try to give them some nourishment before, or?
Well, in this case, it's
because we're about midday, I would say. There's a certain amount of time to get to the tall shank and climb it, and
Well, if there's a little bit of time, obviously never go into an exploration on an empty stomach. So I make a light filling food. I also don't want it rushing out the other end, let's say. So I go in, I cook pretty much what would be like nut breads and stuff like that.
okay.
And I get I as I'm cooking, of course, I'm sharpening my cleaver just in case there's any reason for me to use it.
Yeah, we would make sure that you have a battle station as well. Like all hands would basically have a battle station that we have you occupy.
Yeah,
You stick me on the deck. I look pretty imposing.
yeah. You've got a couple of guys with pole arms. There's some axes, I would imagine, to chop down any ropes that came. The captain, though, has that look in his eye, Brent. You recognize it. That like when he feels like a contract's about to be completed.
Mm-hmm.
The captain seems a little eager.
Well, I think we're all eager to find
Mhm.
the scissor and find out what happened. So yeah, I also have an eager gleam in my eye.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm looking, of course, at this point for I'm multitasking. First thing I'm doing, I'm looking for any survivors, and I'm looking at the state of the ship. Second thing, I'm planning for the feast afterwards from our successful salvage of the ship. So I'm already inventorying all the
Okay.
good things that we're going to be eating for the return trip on our success, because that'll be my second drive. Make a feast for the worthy on my drives. What can I say?
All right. So you set course and head for the scissor. As you start to approach, Brent, as you get clear of the trees, what you thought was a cove that the ship had pulled into doesn't appear to be a cove. It appears to be that the front of the ship is lodged into the canopy. Like now that you have a better perspective of it.
So I start, as I'm looking at the ship and can see that, I start basically just kind of announcing as we get closer what the state of the ship. And I guess I would say she's run aground, or whatever terminology we use, because that would be
Sure.
if we were on water, that would be what we would say is the ship is run aground on.
No,
something.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
So
this doesn't look like the way you normally park a ship.
right. So I say she's run aground or dashed her hull on unexpected trees or something to that effect. And then trying to see if there's anybody on the deck.
You can
it looks pretty empty.
It does look empty as you put the glass on it and you look. You can see lanterns still on the deck. You don't see any movement. Not that you can see everything, but from what you can see, you don't see any movement. You see crates strewn all about the deck, and you notice that there seems to be, the best you can tell, like large tomes that are laid open, and the pages are kind of fluttering in the wind. And that doesn't seem
like the best way to store books.
It doesn't seem like the best way to store books, nor does it seem like something that would happen if there wasn't crew around.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
But you are sure that is the scissor. You can see the name, the long sleek, the way the ship was described. And as you approach, things are a little bit tense. You pull alongside or along the back, the back, the stern. So the bow is the front and the stern is the back.
Is the back, yeah.
I think. Okay, you pull along the stern, and are you amongst one of the first to go over, or how does that work?
Yes, absolutely. Protection of the crew is my main priority, so I would be the first to make sure that it's safe.
All right, as you set foot on the deck,
and I take Jeramis with me because he's not a person.
All right, that's an interesting. Jeramis, how does that make you feel? Or are you just glad to be included? Or
I don't say that. I don't say, "Hey, you're not a person. Come with me." I say, "Hey, Jeramis."
How do you feel about being the second one to set foot on the deck, Jeramis?
I feel like the first one picked in dodgeball, really. So I'm good.
You're pumped. Okay. Well, the first thing you guys notice is that other than the sounds of the wind around you, it is ominously silent on a ship, and you know that there are always There's the sounds of the engine. There's the sounds of the saws. There's the sounds of the crew. There's none of that. Uh, you see, like I said, you see crates of books, many of them opened. It looks like there's books scattered across the deck.
Hmm.
Tools still appear to be left out to the weather, which horrifies you as a sailor. You see a couple of plates of food. There's an unsecured door that flaps a little bit as the wind catches it.
So I guess two questions I have is the first question is we don't see obvious signs of struggle like blood splatter everywhere and all of that kind of stuff. And second question is that it seems like they were interrupted in the middle of something. Do we notice like any natural hazards? Are there like anything that we see from like a Caesarean or any other hazards that we should be aware of as we approach?
You notice that it looked like something had hit the scissor, like something had forced it into the trees.
Okay.
Like the hull's intact, but your best guess, based on the way that the side looked as you finally got up close enough, that there had been an impact. It is damaged, but still saleable. You don't see a lot of blood or anything.
Okay.
I think,
but
probably,
there is some, or is there none?
There's some.
Out of curiosity. Okay.
Okay, there is some to imply that something happened as far as an attack or something.
There is some, but you don't seem to hear any people. The deck's flat. I'm trying to think. Probably the best way for you guys to explore the ship is to do a montage, which we haven't done before.
Ooh, a montage. Pump some iron.
Cue the music.
Cue the music, training music. You need Eye of the Tiger or something more ominous.
I think
something less copyrighted.
I was thinking of the montage song from Basketball. But ideally what we're doing is we'll go deck by deck and check the ship and see what evidence of whatever was that did it, and if there's anybody left or any bodies or anything on the ship.
Yeah. So you're really looking for evidence of what happened.
Primarily, I'm looking for survivors.
Yeah, you're looking for survivors.
Secondarily, it will be what happened, and if we can tell where they went.
Okay.
So the next would be if we can tell where they went, and then it would be
all right.
Be survivors, where they went, what happened.
That's fair.
Are we splitting the party, and I can do a deck, inspection to see like.
My advice is not to split the party unless you brought more of the crew over.
I'd assume more of the crew came over.
Okay, then Brent, with you being the second, right? You're the second in command. Is that what we decided to Captain Dent?
Yep.
You tell me how you distribute the crew, and you've already told me their priorities. So
I'll take two people. I'll take two guys. So I figure we probably had 5 other crew members come over.
Okay.
And I'll take 2 with me, or we'll say four, just so the numbers are even. I'll take 2 with me, leave 2 with Jeremus, and we will go and do the unless I'll take one crew member and Jeremus with me, and we'll go and search the decks, and then we'll leave the others to start collecting the salvage from above decks and see what evidence they can find.
Okay.
Well, just to be prepared, you hear that shinking of the butcher's knife as it comes out.
Are you recovering any of their?
I have my sword out too. Yeah.
Okay. Since there are some books on the top, Jeremus, are you recovering any of the cargo?
I think that comes last. I think.
Okay.
I would defer to Brom in this thing, but I would suggest that we secure the ship first.
That's what the crew members are doing, where we're looking down below. Is they're going to secure the books and the salvage from the top of the book, and then we can decide. Then once we're all done, we can decide if we want to do anything with the actual ship itself.
Yeah, based on your understanding of the ship and most of the ships, you've got the main deck. You've got a captain's cabin at the back of the main deck. You've got crew quarters below, an engine room and galley, like your ship does, and then a cargo bay. Those are the you believe, and unless there's any hidden compartments or anything.
Yeah,
I'm not
so we'll
saying
go.
that there is, but
We'll go
it's pretty
down
standard.
first. We'll go
Okay.
down first and go all the way to the bottom of the ship, searching level by level, and then we'll check the captain's quarters last because it's above decks, and above
Okay.
decks will have the most people around. So we'll do below decks first.
Okay. You head below decks. The crew quarters is right below the deck. The cargo that assuming you're going down midships, the engine room's towards the back and the cargo is towards the front.
Hmm?
So yeah,
For the first, we'll check where there would be people. So it would
okay.
be the cargo, the not cargo. It would be the crew
The crew quarters.
crew quarters first, and then everything on the deck with the crew quarters, like anything we can check then, and then we would move down to the storage.
Okay. So do you have any skills that you're applying to your search based on your character or
I have sense at 1.
okay.
I also have outwit if anybody's hiding and they're cleverly hiding. I can try and outwit them and find them, but sense is probably the closest one. I have 1.
Okay. So yeah, you're in the crew quarters. You want to go ahead and roll a d6 and see how this works.
Rolled a 6.
Well,
there doesn't appear to be a lot here. But you can tell that the beds haven't been slept in a while and that everything seems to be untidy. Like, kind of feels like somebody searched the boat before you got here. There
Is it like tossed, like as in like
not like terribly, but it just feels. You know how tidy these smaller ships have to be kept, before things and everything seems a little out of place.
Okay.
Like it's not strewn about and like the couch cushions cut up and not that there's a couch, but you know what I mean? Like
right, like the beds aren't torn off.
right. Yeah, they're not torn off the wall, but
any mattresses are torn down or the beds aren't like cut open or anything like that. Makes sense.
But there's some stuff that you guys find as you're looking. There's a half drunk mug of ale that might be useful. There's a pillow oddly stuffed with pages, which I can't imagine how sleeping on that was.
very crinkly.
And a crewmate's diary. The rest is really the crew bunks. A few personal knickknacks that don't mean anything other than to the.
So we won't collect anything. We won't collect anything yet while we search. We'll have them start collecting salvage once it's done. I do, however, flip to the last page of the diary just to read what the last entry is.
The last entry is talking about how boring the journey is on the Wildsea.
Okay.
So apparently the last entry is prior to whatever activity left the boat.
Right. It isn't anything like
slammed
saw ship
into
in
the
the
canopy.
distance. Yeah.
Right. Saw ship into the distance. They look
day
friendly.
25 starving.
No, there isn't anything like that.
Okay.
All right.
So I toss that back on the bed and leave it. We'll probably collect it as salvage when we're done, but then we'll move to the engine room, check the engine room, and then
the engine room and the galley. Okay.
Yeah, engine room and the galley, and then we'll move down to the cargo.
All right. As you enter the galley, you see long tables and wooden benches. They just crowd the galley the same way yours does. There's never enough room on the boats, right? They're sitting eerily empty. The hatch in the floor leads down to the engine room, which seems to be similarly quiet.
Can we sense from the galley like I'll take an inventory of the food. Like, is the food rotten? Is the food absent? Is the food
There
still
food?
in good shape?
The food appears to have been exposed for days. Like the spline apples that you see have worms in them.
But there is food, so whoever went through here didn't just take
didn't take all the food. Nope.
Okay.
I kind of look at the spline apples and I offer one to Brahm and I say, extra protein, extra calories.
I say that's disgusting. But it's interesting that the
I'll
food is
fix
still
later,
here.
and I put it in my satchel.
Fair.
Again, I say it's interesting that the food's still here. The food is here due to the fact that, as I said, somebody's been here, so they didn't take the food, so they were looking for
Right.
something.
So,
But that-
Jaramus, do you want to do a search as you're looking through the galley?
I mean, mostly I can do a harvest. Is really, but that's like wild stuff and all that. I don't really have like a search skill like he does.
Go ahead and do your forage thing. Okay. Go ahead and roll it. Why not?
Six. So
Hey,
I'm able to extract as much good food out of that as I possibly can. And of course, basically what happens is that I kind of deviate from mission a little bit because Brahm is still like looking around and all that, and I'm just over here kind of shoving stuff into my compartment. That's good.
Yeah,
That's still good.
You find some spices. You find some dried fruit rations. Because those don't really go bad because they're dried.
That's
you
good.
seem to be glowing though over several pieces of rusty cookware.
There's some clattering behind Brahm. Brahm is like, what the fuck is happening in the kitchen?
What was that skill you were telling me about, Brent?
Which one?
Not the search one, the other one.
Outwit?
Outwit. Can you give me an outwit roll? You think you hear something?
Sure. I can use.
And it's not me, maybe.
No. Brahm knows what Jaramus is doing and what the other people searching the room are doing.
I rolled 2 6s because I have a 3 in outwit, so I rolled 3 dice, so I rolled 2 6s. Which
2
is
6s?
Yeah.
You definitely think you hear a sound down in the engine room.
So yeah, I called Jaramus and tell him to stop doing what he's doing, and I think there's someone or something in the engine room.
I slap my keg belly closed and come over to Brahm, and I get my cleaver ready just in case.
Okay.
And so we open the hatch to the engine room, and I call out, come out, whoever's in there.
You hear some rustling, but without identifying yourself, you don't get much of a response.
I throw a lantern with oil down and light it on fire so they come out. I have to come out.
Oh,
No,
good.
I'm just kidding.
That should do well with the barrels of chemical fuel.
Just kidding. I do shine a lantern down there to see if I can see anybody.
Do you call out that you are here as a rescue party or anything?
Yeah. Let them know we're a rescue party here from the Skeleton Key and the Harbor Town.
You get a reply at the mention of the town. You're like, I've never heard of the Skeleton Key, but you were. Why can't I remember the name of the town? Sorry, hang on, I gotta scroll. This is not how you GM.
Sure it is. That's how I GM.
3 masks. Three masks. It is 3 masks. Okay, the town of 3 masks.
Remember that being the name of the town, anyways.
It's a small Spitside port with a literary theme, hence the name. I don't know. Okay, at the that you guys are from.
Is it 3 masks or 3 masks?
Masks.
Okay.
Wait. That is MASSK.
It's SKS.
MASKS. There we go.
Mask. Yeah.
Masks.
Not mask.
Sorry, I will try to enunciate better.
No, I'm asking because mast would probably make more sense in the sailing game.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but masks, sure.
There's a sailor that comes out. It says, I didn't think anybody would find us. My name is Techavez, and I've been hiding down here for days, living off of wormy spline apples. The marauders set upon us 10 days ago, rammed us, knocked us off course into the trees. We thought we were going to outrun them. but they caught us and said they were taking the crew
Well,
someplace.
I'm ecstatic because we found a survivor, but I know the captain's not going to be happy because this probably impinges on our salvage rights. But I say we'll take you over. We'll get you real food over on the Skeleton Key, and I kind of help him out. And I say, are there any other survivors on the ship, or is there anyone
No,
left?
I was working down here and I was able to hide in the engine room. When they weren't checking, they didn't, have lanterns because they thought they had caught us completely unaware and that everybody was topside trying to repel them boarding. But their numbers were overwhelming and they took the crew away.
Okay.
Is just a more of a world knowledge thing. Is it
Yeah.
not is it common for there to be slave ships and stuff like that, stealing crews and
I,
all that, or is that less common?
I think it depends on the kind of game that you're playing.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know that if we were running a longer campaign, I don't know. I don't think that I want necessarily
Well, I mean, they could
slavery.
take hostages. They could take hostages
Yeah,
and try to like exploit the town
And maybe
to
that's how
try
you
and
get new marauders. Maybe it's all press gang stuff.
or that
could be.
press gang
We
to
we
working their
can
ship,
we can give you the rotten spline apples and leave you here in the
or you can come with
canopy
us,
of of the Wildsea.
or you can
And
come
good
with
luck.
us. Yeah,
You hear the pinwolves. You know
yeah.
like
Yeah, I just was curious because it sounds like the human commodity was more important to them than the books or any of the other salvage from the
So,
ship.
so we think they're alive. Is that what he said? They were alive when they left.
they believe that they were alive.
Okay, they didn't
Uh,
just kill
and
everybody
and
and throw everyone
Techevez is a
overboard.
Zealocray,
Huh. Which one is that?
the
That's the spider suit.
spider peoples.
I like that bloodline. I mean, I think it's a very
The,
cool one.
Yeah.
the
She's hungry. She's nervous. Um, she believes that they heard the marauders talking about a hanging manor that they may be using, or she wasn't sure. She heard the term. It's something that they've heard like as a crew, like as a place that's in the area, but nobody really knows where it is.
Hmm.
Um, but she knows that some of the crew were killed and thrown overboard, in the immediate clash. So it isn't like the whole crew is surviving, but the marauders, rather than leave
does she,
them,
she doesn't have a guesstimate of how many people they took, right?
she doesn't. Whatever
It's not
she knows,
zero,
she's the
right?
only one.
It's not zero that were captured, right? Like
It's
there
not
are
zero that
people
were
that still
captured.
okay. So there are people that so we do need to go to try and rescue them. That will be what I will try and push. Even though the captain's probably going to push to just salvage the ship and the things, I'm going to push to try and rescue the rest of the crew.
All right.
Mm.
You do take
That-
notice that there are barrels of chemical fuel, which is always a valuable commodity
Yeah, we
in
will
the
take
whole.
that just for us because we've been out for a while. So we can use that for our ship
Sure.
and the rest of the journey to the hanging
Do
garden.
you ever work with the engines, Brent?
I do not. We have an injured person for that.
Okay.
What's their name, Brent?
What is the engineer's
Uh,
name?
Bobfoot.
Bobfoot?
Bobfoot.
Okay. Do you call for Bobfoot? Or are you still
Sure.
exploring?
Yes. Well, we'll do the rest of the search. It's
Okay.
less of a search because we kind of know that it's clear by her. But we'll do kind of a quick search, and then I'll call him over to at least salvage the rest of the fuel.
Yeah, you
Um,
you saw the stuff on the main deck. There was some chemical vats, stacks of the books, half loaded cranes, that kind of stuff. But
yeah.
you still have the captain's cabin up top and the cargo bay. And the cargo bay
Yeah.
is on
So
your
that's
level.
what we'll do is we'll do the cargo bay. And again, it'll be kind of a quick search because we're looking for people.
Okay.
But we'll do a quick search of the cargo bay, and then we'll do the captain's quarters, and then I'll see if I can go talk the captain into going and looking for survivors.
Okay. You do notice as you get into the cargo bay, the first thing you notice is that the hatches are open to the waves. The waves being the branches and stuff. You know,
Mhm.
it's not like water's pouring in, but that's how you load the cargo in is the bay doors
Or ta
open. You
or
notice that
take
they're
cargo
open,
out.
but
Or
there
take
is
cargo
right,
out.
but there is some cargo around if you want to do a search. It was
I
once
don't really I'm looking for
okay.
people, so I don't really
Yeah,
care what the cargo
it
is.
appears to be really the space now. The lanterns are dimmer than normal. Space is now a sea of leather and yellowing paper, so it sort of smells like an old bookstore
Mhm.
or you know that old area of the library that doesn't seem to get enough ventilation.
Mhm.
So kind of musty. Um, but yeah, you can tell that the bay doors have probably been open probably the entire time that they've been rammed into the trees.
So,
But
yeah,
yeah,
and then I'll the crewman that's with us, I'll advise him to close the cargo doors, um, and then we'll go back up and we'll search the
okay,
captain's quarters.
all right. Okay, so you go back up on the deck. As you walk into the captain's cabin, you notice that it's nice. It's lavish compared to the crew's quarters, but not lavish compared to actual lavishness. You see some framed pictures of previous captains of the ship and high-ranking crew. And oddly, you notice that it includes Makis Amen, the head of the council, the town council.
Okay.
You recognize their picture on
Mhm.
on the captain's table, and yeah, that seems to be standard stuff that's in there. There's some switches and levers that act as the scissors control.
Okay.
So there's if you want to search, I will tell you what you find.
Sure, I'll search the captain's cabin just because whatever I find, I might be able to leverage with the captain here. And then, but again, my primary thing is look for people. If there's no people, I'll search for things.
There's no people, but this would be the best place. You know, you do notice the captain's logbook appears to be there. There's charts on the table because this is where the navigation stuff happens.
So I'll
So,
take the chart. I will take the charts for the captain and the logbook because we'll check the
okay.
logbook to see what it says. And then, but I'm going to gather all that stuff. And then with, touch of us, we're going to go back to the ship. And I'll have Jeremus
Okay.
like feed them because they haven't had any good food. And I'll say, feed them good food. Uh, and then, I'll try and talk the captain into going after the rest of the crew.
All right. So, Brom, let's switch focus since you went to the let's take Brom now. Let's get Jeremus. Let's get Jeremus and Techevez. Mike, you want to tell
Mhm.
me how your special meal for one goes? We'll shift focus to you for a second.
I'm not really sure what Zelicray eat, so I'd kind of confirm with them, but he said break it out, so if there's a reason to, because it seems like they eat the spline apples and stuff like that. Um, Maybe make some fresh pan fried mushrooms. Um, Use a little bit of maybe some pickled weird fruit, something that's much better than the spline apples with worms. I would think they would like the spline apples with worms.
Well,
Maybe I'm just being.
Techevez seems to get excited about the mushrooms and asks if they're from Three Masks.
Mm, special harvest. Got these on our last trip, and so I since they seem to like them, I give them a double portion basically of those, and and of course just to kind of like set them at ease and everything like that, I break out a little bit of the good mead spiced with a little bit of stuff, and really I think what I try to do is just kind of first of all make them at ease. Food makes people feel better. Celebrate. I don't really know how hungry they would be, or like where they would be on the spectrum, because I
Pretty
don't think
starving,
my character.
thirsty. They ask
Yeah.
for water and keep draining the glasses. As long as you
Okay.
keep putting them out, they keep draining the glasses. But very
I have
hungry. They've
I
been on subsistence level for
I have
10
no need. I
days.
give them my shares. And so I asked them, like, well, what, because it sounds like they were going probably to they had been to the Hanging Manor. I do interrogate them a little bit, just to kind of understand their story. When they went to the Hanging Manor, they got beset by marauders on the way back to Three Masks. but they obviously hid in the engine room. And I start poking, like, did the marauders also take the books, or why were the cargo bays open? Do you know what was happening there? Did you guys
The marauders
drop
took
the?
some of. So at night when it would get
Mhm.
quiet, they would venture out and look. They worked in the cargo hold. They were one of the cargo handlers.
Mhm.
Techevez believes that some of the cargo was taken by the raiders,
Okay.
but doesn't understand what they found value in, because it was books. It was
Mhm.
books that they had found. The Hanging Garden, when it was revealed after a root quake, there was a tall shank that was revealed, and this manor that was chained to the trunk of this massive tall shank was there, and was just a repository of books. So it looked like it looked like a rich person's house that loved nothing but books, that like collected books. What would you call that? A book collector, bibliophile.
Bibliophile, yeah.
There we go.
bibliophile.
A bibliophile. Yes, thank you, Brent.
Mhm.
And so they took what they deemed, they planned to go back, but they did have the first load, but some of the books are gone.
Mhm.
But they don't know which ones were taken or why. Their belief is that the marauders are more likely to use books for fuel,
Right.
like small campfires in safe furnace type things, than they are to, actually read the books. They don't seem to have a very high opinion of the marauders.
And
But
As it should be.
but yeah, so when somebody in the crew had mentioned the Hanging Manor, that's why they took the survivor. That Techevez believes that's why they took the survivor, so they could find the Hanging Manor.
is Tachavez? I asked her, is she originally from Three Masks, or is she from somewhere else?
She's from Three Masks. She talks about her brother that was back in town, which is actually somebody that you guys did not meet. Karshaw's sister.
Wait, she's not. We did meet the one that.
Oh, you
wanted
did
to
meet
go see her
Karshaw.
sister. Yeah, because I told him
They
he
had
has to. I told him he had to stay.
You told him he tried to sneak onto the ship.
Yep,
Yes.
and I told him he had to stay.
That's my mistake. Thank you, Brent.
Yeah, I remember that conversation.
No, that was good.
That was good. But yeah, we told him he had to stay because he had to protect the city. So we did meet her brother.
You did.
And we tell him that
No,
he's
you
very
did. I
worried.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
It was so long ago, man.
That was a while ago. So we tell them that they're worried about it. We did speak to her brother and how worried they are, and how we'll take them back to the
finding out that her brother is still alive, and after this time, very excited that her brother wanted to come, and appears to be a little miffed that you didn't allow him to come along.
Well,
hey,
just saying.
Well,
just
untested. So I kind of glaze over that, like the fact that we didn't bring him because we felt that he would probably be more of a hindrance. I let her know that her brother was very, very worried about her and everything like that. And so I think, and I just kind of confirmed that they really didn't have any salvage, as I'm kind of cooking up a pancake to go along with her mushrooms and pickled fruits and stuff like that. You didn't get any other salvage besides what we found at the Hanging Manor, right?
We haven't been to the Hanging Manor.
You guys haven't been to the Hanging.
No, their ship didn't have any salvage outside of the Hanging Manor. That was the only place they had stopped. Okay.
No, she did report that she heard some noises at night in the cargo bay that she couldn't quite place.
Can she make the noises?
Yeah, she tries. I don't know what noises to make. Hang on.
She makes bird sounds and Jaren attacks her.
Come on in.
It sounded kind of squelchy.
Squelchy.
Yes.
Is that the technical term?
Yeah, like
that's Brent, not Bram. That's Brent. So never mind me.
Kind of squelchy, sliding, and she would notice when she went and would check the cargo bay like the next night, that there seemed to be some slime in there.
Huh.
Do any of you know anything about the local fauna? You know anything about animals, Mike?
Other than how to cook them.
What
Well, that would
skill
count.
would that be? I have hunt.
You have hunt. Okay.
I have one dot in hunt.
You wanna give me a roll?
Sure. One of these is bound to go bad eventually, right? Not that one. I rolled a 5.
Okay.
Still good.
Yes. You aren't sure, Brent, but you believe that it is something called a Librico ray, which is a very rare creature. Librico? I don't know how to pronounce it. We'll just go with Librico.
That's
They
in
are
the
a rare
cargo hold
creature.
already?
They're kind of slug-like, and they eat books.
Oh.
They travel the Wildsea and eat books and scrolls. They drink the ink and chew the paper into nest building pulp.
This wouldn't be something like they want in the harbor town, is it? Because
I don't think Three Mess wants this. Where
Yeah,
they're renowned for their books.
where they're renowned for their books, yeah. So
Watch us feed our books to our captured Librico ray.
I guess we. Do I think it's valuable? Do I know if it's valuable?
They are certainly rare.
Rare doesn't always equate
okay. So
valuable.
the sound. Sorry, they had sounds. The sounds is the spurting of ink or a wet slap of flank, like if you slapped a slime mold, kind of.
So do I find this, or does Jaren find this?
This is based off of information from Techevez.
Okay.
Because I figure if I say anything about it to Jaren's going to want to try and eat it.
Yes. Probably.
Yeah, they are large size, but because they don't have a skeletal mass, they can squeeze through small spaces, leave slick trails. You believe that they are weak to flame, salt, and acid.
So I think that's still in the
things.
ship, because I probably showed up to talk to her as Jaren was talking to her. So
Techevez believes that it visited the ship through the open cargo bay.
Oh, okay.
And so if you want to go and search, because you were mostly looking just for people and you didn't find people.
I didn't get slimed either, though. So
well, it's been several days, but if you go back
assume it's
and
fine.
know what you're looking for, you will notice that there are slime trails, and that it does appear that there are, like most creatures, you can hunt them, and you can get things. They may have bits of undigested book. The stomach has ink blot. Is it really an ink blot stomach? The fins are valuable. So, up to you.
Brom, let's get a book, set a trap. We got this thing.
Well, I think the bigger thing is, so it's trapped in the cargo hold if it's still down there. I think the bigger thing with the captain is twofold. Is one, either I need to talk him into going after the people, which we need to do like now, because they could be killed, the survivors, or we're probably going to try and prep the ship to try and get the ship back to the port town, whether or not we have to drag it, like chain it and drag it, or if enough of the crew, we're going to split the crew in two and try and do enough repairs to pilot the scissor back, limp it back with under the watch of the skeleton key. So one, does the captain want to go save, will the captain let us go save the survivors?
As you guys are talking, Bobfoot comes, knocks on the door. You named him.
Bobfoot.
And Bobfoot says, I checked out the scissors engines, Captain, and they're a little old and look like they might be temperamental, but they also look like they're in running shape, and the hull seems to be in good shape. And I believe she could follow along in our wake, no problem. So I don't think we need to move any of the cargo over. And we can get the scissor back home.
So I'm positive that that's what the captain's going to want to do, because the captain wants to salvage, I'm sure, and I'm sure that's what Jeremy wants to do.
Well, the captain is interested in the salvage. He realizes that there may be lives on the line. They don't know how many, because it sounds like the bodies were thrown over. With the captain sent a couple of the crew members once they found that out. Trying to safely, like tethered to the ship. Scale and look, and
like bungee cords, like Fury Road.
Yeah. They dive down like the Acapulco cliff divers.
Yeah.
except the ropes are on their, the bungee cords are on their ankles, so they don't snap their spines.
Yeah.
I was picturing something more deliberate, but sure, if that's the fiction that we have, they have bungee cords. And do they have knives in their mouths?
Yeah, absolutely. Always. Pirates always have knives in their mouths.
Yeah. That's fine.
There is an argument to
be
made here that so rescuing an abandoned ship is really that's more my drive. I hate to say it. So because I personally don't think that we are we're not a crew full of like hardened fighters and all that. We're an average crew of sailors that scavenge the seas, and I
will agree to that, because my main drive is to protect our people, which I kind of consider Touch of Us now. So getting her back to her brother is probably fits more. Would also fit what my character does. So I think the plan then would be to work the ship to get it up and running, and then get back to the harbor, and then maybe if I can get a few mercenaries or something, I will take a search party with another ship, or the skeleton key. But I think the plan now would be to salvage the ship and get it back to the harbor and get Touch of Us back to.
All right, so the captain is liking your idea. He realizes that the lives, they may already be lost, but they may be still alive or left at the hanging manor to starve. But he is concerned, while your crew is better outfitted to handle marauders than the Scissor was. I mean, the Scissor was mostly sailors and cargo loaders, and he doesn't believe that you have the weapons and the manpower to handle, like a sustained attack, especially if they have more than one ship, which you don't know. Techevez doesn't know. Techevez remembers getting rammed, remembers being told that there were marauders in the area and they were being attacked. But the captain likes your plan of heading back to Three Masks and seeing how that goes. Trying to let the town know and see if he can extract a second.
Second reward to go and
yes,
rescue.
The Captain Dan wants a second reward because he's returning the ship relatively unharmed, and a crew member, the only surviving crew member,
and all the salvage books,
and all this whatever is still on the ship,
and the slug, whatever they can get out of the slug.
The slug's not on the ship. If you look, it has been in the ship, but it's not there.
Okay.
But if you wanted to hunt it, you probably could. But they are large creatures. Even if they don't have sharp teeth, they kind of bludgeon you to death.
They're a gelatinous cube.
They're gelatinous cubey type things. You can take it down. I will say this: the encounter, that is a lot of circles.
I have the
Titanic
trait, and I'm hungry.
I'm not going to put anybody at risk for something extra. At this point, we have a pretty good haul with what we gathered before this, with the ship, with the survivor, and then the salvage of the ship, because we're the only ones that got it, so we have some claim to it.
Yes.
And she's not the captain, so I don't know how much claim she has still of the ship. So we're basically sitting on a small portion as far as pirate salvage or sailor salvage.
It's pretty the amount of books appears to be pretty impressive to you guys, even though it appears that some are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Do those slugs lay eggs in the books, just in case I got lucky?
They don't lay eggs in the books, but they do digest them. And this particular one has a fetish for charts and will destroy charts. Just
Really?
Since you're not gonna. It has a navigator ray. It has a taste for them, so that they will ignore humans to attack any charts that you may or may not have on you.
I have a chart.
That's
I
hilarious.
can hunt this thing.
You could basically like bullfighter the slug.
I have an
and
I have an old trade way. I can come here, you. Get in my belly.
You don't have the skill hunt though, do you?
No, it would look really silly if I did it, but
yeah.
You
So
could
we're just salvaging the ship and going back.
Okay.
We're not putting anybody at risk that we don't have to.
You get a skeleton crew over there. You are going to have to pull it out a little bit so it can be maneuverable. But
that's what we figured.
It takes about half a day because the ship, as you inspect it and check it out. So
and get the engines working
So you probably do most of that work that evening after you found it.
What did Touch Ivas do on
cargo
ship before?
Cargo handler.
Okay. So we'll put her to work however we can, whether it's watch on our ship.
Sure.
Me and the skeleton crew will be on the Scissor. As the second in command, I'll take the command of the Scissor, and I'll make Jaren go with me. And the captain will, I mean, it's his ship, so he'll stay on the skeleton crew, and that's what or on the skeleton key, and that's how we'll do that.
Okay. That sounds good. As you're getting ready, just for shits and giggles, because we haven't had a combat, you do hear the howls of pinwolves in the vicinity. And as you turn and look, Brahm, you do see 2 pinwolves heading towards the Scissor.
Okay, so yellow warning to the skeleton crew, including Jaren, since I made him stay on the ship with me. To brace ourselves, we're under attack by pinwolves, and I'll get ready to fight them off.
So the combat,
and I get ready to cook them.
Combat in Wildsea doesn't have initiative. It is free-flowing narrative, where we have focus where the story goes and reactions. So it's kind of fluid, and we determine it by the narration.
What do the pinwolves look like?
Let me get you a picture here.
Probably look. 1 second.
I don't know if I can post it in chat, but I can send it to you on my phone.
I got it. Oh, okay. I remember
they have spiky they don't have feet.
Yeah.
They have spikes that they run on.
They have kind of scythe legs and a big maw.
Yeah,
and
long tongues. The tongues are kind of grody. All right, so hang on, let me get to the pinwolves here. They love
pinwolves.
They love picking off sailors.
So my goal is to keep them from getting on the ship if I can stop them. So as soon as they get close to the ship with a flourish, my first thing is to attack the one that gets close and try and I slash at it and try and kick it off the side of the ship.
Oh, yeah. To describe how it happens and give me a roll when you're, I'm assuming hunt maybe, or whatever you.
I actually have flourish at 3.
You have flourish. Oh, yeah. Well, then you should roll 3.
And it's very, I do it with a lot of panache. So what I basically do is, as the pinwolf gets close to the side of the ship, I make I kind of do a double cut with my cutlass, and then kick it off I'm standing on the edge of the ship, and then I kick it off.
You feel the ghostly eyes of Jeremus looking at you in disbelief that you would waste a meal.
I rolled a 3, a 5, and a 4.
3, a 5, and a 4. So you have a success with complication, basically. You do connect, but the pinwolf, I'm going to say, was able to slam its legs into the side of the hull, and you didn't kick hard enough to dislodge it.
Dislodge it, yeah. So that's what the commands I'm screaming at the other occupants of the ship, as I flourish my blade to continue fighting the pinwolves, is to repel them from the ship.
Okay. So the other one, while you're kicking its companion, the other one takes a moment to charge in at the other sailors.
Oh,
that you
I
or
use
Jeremus.
my Titanic body
Okay.
to basically become a very imposing wall between me and the other fleshy bits of the fleshy bits.
So go ahead and describe your reaction as the pinwolf comes in to try to stab somebody with its corkscrew tongue. It's just an awful thing to say.
So basically, what I imagine is that like Jeremus is, since he's made of detritus and he's kind of can make himself longer or shorter as need be, he kind of sits very compactly. But since I've taken the Titanic trait, is that a trait or is that yeah, it's a trait. And so like I kind of make it so that really it's really I'm the only one that it can see. Like I block its sight from everybody else on there outside of maybe Brahm, who's at the railing fighting the other pinwolf.
Okay.
With a goal of like basically just catching the pinwolf. So if it's going to try to attack me or try to get by me to get the fleshy bits, I'm basically trying to catch it and almost smother it in this gigantic body. So I can roll a defense, and if I catch it, then
go ahead and roll a defense then.
All right. So in this,
yes.
So I have so basically I'm going to use my so I have the 1 for edge. I have 2 for the skill called brace. Basically showing my immobility and blocking an attack that's coming my direction. I'm not sure if Titanic gives me an what are those things? Any advantage dice?
I'm not sure if it gives you any additional dice, but it sounds like you already got 3.
I do.
Dice.
I'll roll those. 1, 2, and 3. Disaster. Something goes horribly wrong.
Something goes horribly wrong. So do you want to narrate that, or do you?
Fantastic.
You want me to narrate that as a reaction to the pinwolf?
No, I've got it. So I'm used to fighting, things using my body. I'm going to go ahead and mark that first track on my Ironbound because I'm sure it does a point of damage to me.
It does.
But I misjudge very poorly because one thing I forgot to do is I forgot to take all of that salvage out of my central compartment. And so I am just sluggish and slow. And so it basically comes in, cracks me in the face using its very dexterous leg, and kind of like seeing that I was trying to grab at it like I was a zookeeper. It kind of it bounces off me like a very skilled parkour, like gymnast, like,
yeah,
get the fuck out of here. I kind of tumbled back a little bit, not far enough to land on one of the sailors, but I definitely felt part of my jaw break off from the pinwolf.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely dislodged you from that position and exposed the sailors behind it as it bounces off of you. It is going to attack one of the sailors, because why the hell not?
Don't kill our sailors. They're just hit points.
Apparently, Mike. Apparently, the pinwolf, as it tried to, like bounce off of you and roll and dig its feet in and launch at the sailor, it sort of launched itself kind of into his pole arm, that you use to repel, and winds up hurting itself while it was trying to attack the sailor. The second Pinwolf, or the first actually the first one, Brent, the one that Brahm was fighting with, absorbed your kick, dug into the side of the ship, which we already decided, and is trying to leap over. What are you doing? Are you doing anything to react to him trying to get onto the ship so he can attack you?
Yes, give me 1 second.
Okay.
I'm looking at something.
No problem. No, I know. We hadn't done this, and it,
No,
if
it's good
you
that
guys sail back, it's probably going to be mostly uneventful.
I felt bad about being so safe. But 1 second. Let me
You're fine.
check. I'm just checking what my aspects do again because I totally forgot about them
Yeah, no.
until Mike started using them. Like he wants to know how the game works or something. What am I? Okay. So I am going to use my Corsair. This time I'm going to make sure I use my Corsair's Saber.
Okay.
Which does
that give you two dice?
It's actually a thing.
Oh, it's actually a thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually an aspect. Which I'm trying to remember what it does exactly. You can explain what this actually means once I find it again. Corsair. So what it does is Corsair Saber. It's 4-track gear, which means if I'm using it, I mark one thing off, right?
Right.
And so I'll mark it off, and it deals CQ keen damage is what it says it does, which I don't know.
Close quarters.
Okay.
Keen damage is sharp.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is, as it jumps at me, I'm with another flourish. I slash at his chest, trying to pin it in the air before it hits the deck. And also, since I have wholehearted, which involves taking care of the crew members, I'll use that as well.
Okay.
Which means all it says with the wholehearted is I can influence the impact of a successful action. I think. Let me look.
Okay.
Let me look again and I'll read it to you. So that's under my rootless. Wholehearted. Once per scene, increase impact on any successful action taken whilst aboard a ship you own or crew. So being it's involving the crew, I think I can invoke that aspect, and then
I would say you own the ship at this point. You don't own it permanently, but right now it is definitely under your control.
So with a flourish, I will attack kind of a spin and a slash. I attack the Pinwolf. I didn't roll very well. I rolled 2, 3, 3. I did roll doubles. I rolled.
You did roll doubles.
1, 2, and 2 3s.
Which doubles give us an unexpected narrative effect. But it could be a critical hit, which could increase your impact.
The wolf explodes into fire, sets the boat on fire.
No, but it feels like you got a little close and it reacted and slashed at you with one of its legs. Okay. So while you dealt damage to it because of the doubles, which surprised it thought it had bested your swing as it connected with you. And then
what does the wholehearted do exactly?
The wholehearted, I gotta look. That one I gotta look.
Because like I said, it just says I increase the impact of the action once per scene, and I'll use it this scene. So if that allows me to, with the doubles and my sword, if it allows me to do more damage, I'll just kill it.
No, it does.
Even if I take an injury.
Actually, you just kill it.
Yeah. So what happens is it jumps at me, and it manages to stick me with its legs. But what I do is I kind of turn to the side too, and just basically whack its head off with my father's saber, knowing that if it gets past me, it'll get to the rest of the crew.
Yes.
Don't throw it over the edge.
Now, it's definitely bleeding on the deck, just for you, Mike.
Perfect.
But at the sight of its
it has
partner dropping down,
starts the ship on fire.
Hang on, we're gonna roll a dice. Yeah, no, yeah.
Dad, why is nothing started on fire in this game yet?
Because you're using chemical engines. It's not their first rodeo. But yeah, the Pinwolf is making you. Okay, what the? Okay, there we go. Sorry.
Oh, it rolled bad.
Oh, the pinwolf rolled bad. It is the pinwolf. Mike growls at you and then whimpers a little bit as it sees its partner go down and leaps off the deck back into the canopy.
Does it though?
It broke.
He means he's attacking it again.
Oh, are you okay? Yeah, you want a reaction? You can have a reaction, sir.
He's attacking its back as it's trying to run away.
You can have a reaction. That is what it is. The whole combat is focus and reaction, and reactions and focus, and yeah, you step in narratively. Go ahead, sir. Do what you need to.
Okay. So basically, how I look at it is that the pinwolf, it sees the other one go. It realizes that we were not as easy a prey as we thought it was, but it has these nice like things. So as it tries to leap off the deck, you kind of when you see like those movies where giants try to grab it like the little person or something like that. I take a step and try to grab its leg and pull it back and pin it down on the deck so the other people can
stab it.
That
is an interesting choice. I do like this.
I wonder for a moment why Jerem is with us. He's obviously a danger to everyone on the ship.
The food tonight will be delicious.
Pinwolf's good to eat.
Do you know what pinwolf tastes like? The book does tell me. Okay, just for you, Brom. Despite what Jeremus is going to say, that pinwolf meat is tough and tastes bitter unless it's charred or fried, and then it's surprisingly buttery. So it is edible, but it has to be cooked a lot.
Poison. I assume he'll do a fine job. At least it's not poison.
It's not poisonous.
But I will give you a lecture afterward. We'll see how you do with this pinwolf, because I'll probably yell at you afterwards about putting the crew in danger.
All right, let's. How many dice do you have in this combo-rific platter?
3d6 is what I'm basically going to go with. I'm going to go with brace to kind of bring it down and just push it down.
Sure. That makes sense. If it's showing you its back, it feels like it should be even easier. You didn't need it to be easier. Sorry.
So basically, my arm reaches out extra long as the pinwolf kind of bounds back, and I grab it right at the leg beneath, and I throw it down, push it, and then I kind of jerk my jaw kind of dangling for the sailors to see. And I get them to basically put it out of its misery.
The pinwolf yelps in surprise. It did not expect that speed out of your bulk.
Well, I was lighter after it knocked my face off.
As you grabbed it. And I'm going to say that the sailors' coup de grace are easily enough to finish it off. They don't have to roll as it is immobilized.
So the last thing that happens is my little ring-tailed monkey companion comes and holds up the pinwolf's head in celebration, because I forgot he existed until just now.
Well, that is fine. That is fine.
Good work. And I go take the pinwolves and I basically make get a mock-up where I can kind of hang them over the side of the ship and bleed them out.
You can make the sorry, there's so much information in this game. The pinwolves hide, shifts and flickers. So like it makes excellent camouflage in the canopy. You might be able to make a couple of cloaks out of it if you really want to.
Well, I have butchering, or I have cook, I have breaking down.
I trust that you have the skill to do that. And on the one-armed scissor will be eating very well as you the captain sends a sailor over to make sure you're all right, because he's surprised at the speed that the pinwolves attacked.
And they were dispatched.
Yeah, so you're working in a new kitchen. Yeah, okay. So the captain, says set sail. You guys
I like to think
the flags to each other,
I like to think that Jervis complains about the kitchen being set up all wrong the entire time. And
he is unhappy with the kitchen. Although he does insist that he can mull the wormy spline apples. in some sort of alcohol to.
I'm okay with the pinwolves. I am not happy about him trying to feed us spline apples that had worms in it.
That is fair. That is fair. Okay, this is.
I would like to give
combat
you
is
a
interesting.
little. He kind of he looks at you at just in disbelief that you would believe that you can eat spline apples with worms in it. You've probably eaten more worms than you know. I especially know that because I serve you worms all the time.
Great. I'm really unhappy when he says that.
that you're learning.
Yeah,
I
right.
just shake my head and refuse to listen to him anymore as he continues to babble about feeding me rotten food.
Well, it's been recovered. It's resuscitated. It's an R word. There's an R word in there somewhere. Trust me, you'll never know.
Ask the captain if Jaren can go on the key while we.
They're too far away. The captain just waves.
God damn it!
Yeah, Captain Dent's not stopping the.
Can we do PvP?
The skeleton key.
Can I throw him off the side of the boat?
No PvP. No PvP. Yes, you make the journey, the couple-day journey back because you know where you're going. You're going at a faster speed.
Yeah,
and the saws don't have to work as hard because
we're following the other.
Yeah,
ship.
you're following your own path as you get back. And when you get back, you are greeted as heroes. Techevez has a touching reunion with Karshaw.
Spider brother. Her meat suit spider brother.
Yes.
I find any sort of touching reunion between those two. Brent finds the touching.
It might be disturbing,
vaguely repulsive.
But the
colony of
captain
spiders
actually comes off the ship this time to talk to the
colony
mayor,
of spiders,
head of the council.
Just happy to see another colony of spiders in a skin suit.
The town is very happy to get the boat back. They're very happy to see one survivor at least, that the cargo is mostly intact. But yes, they want to take Captain Dent up on his offer to go back to the Hanging Manor with, a proper garrison aboard the boat of not just sailors, but, with what the town has. They don't have like a standing constabulary.
I'm probably the best.
You're probably the best fighter. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the town probably has somebody that's in your neighborhood, to help out. But yes, if we were to continue, you guys would go back to the Hanging Manor and get a proper end. But you did get an end to the One-Armed Scissor.
We won. Yeah. We're good.
We
saved the girl.
I met my drive, and then once we got everyone back, I made a banquet for the heroes because you guys are worthy. I met 2 drives this adventure.
That's actually the drives. That's actually pretty impressive. And you did find people to eat your mulled, wormed spline apples.
And I met one of mine too because I protected the crew. So
you did
protect the crew from terrifying entities, which the pinwolves. So
and Jeremus apparently.
Well, I yelled at Jeremus afterwards about putting the crew back in danger by grabbing the stupid fleeing
the fleeing pinwolf. I don't know. It was pretty cinematic, though. I did.
It was, but it was dangerous, and
it was.
I'm against that.
There's that movie that I saw the clip from recently, and I don't know what it was, where the guy was trying to like run away from the giant, and then it just kind of gives him a head start. Then it takes like bam, bam, whop.
Like that's 2 steps.
Yeah, that's kind of what I felt like the Jeremus, the Titanic, ironbound going after the pinwolf. Just like, I'm gonna make it. Nope. That was the scene playing in my head.
I should have had a third pinwolf, but we'll talk about that in our next episode.
Well, I do have prowess too, so I probably could have wiped them out.
You could have. No, you could have.
My character's one of those characters that's you're good at combat. You're just not good at
I didn't go with the hardcore twin fighters with, like 6 bubbles each. This was more starving pinwalls.
We would have to go after the snail for that.
Yeah,
I wasn't opposed.
Librico Ray. That is an interesting creature the more you read about it. But yes, that is at least a peek into the One-Armed Scissor. We did finish this up in less than 6 months.
There was a time in there that we were
not able to play. So
no,
I know we weren't able to play.
doesn't
what-
really count.
Can't say
That's
that we don't
okay.
try to finish stuff.
I
At least
will
enough
s-
so to feel the game out a little bit.
Yeah.
We
Does anybody
finished
have a
most
quick
games.
post game thought that they want to mention? I know we're getting close to the end
No,
here.
I think it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it.
I think this is the game where like the setting really speaks to me a lot in terms of what it like, just how unique and interesting it is. I mean, honestly, that alone is a selling point for me. That just such a different. Oh, you have a fantasy, but it's a different fantasy. Chainsaw ships running around on huge tree canopies and leviathans and crazy races. Like it just felt like a refreshingly different fantasy game. So I can't wait.
Yeah,
to,
it is nice and different. Yeah.
I love the setting. I like the game. I have not. For those of you who have watched this far, you could probably tell that I have not GM'd in a while.
I think
It
you
was
did
nice to
fine.
exercise some of those muscles. I don't feel bad about what I did. It wasn't complete. How about that? But
It's
I
okay.
think I had
Don't be
fun.
hard on
It
yourself.
sounds like you guys had fun, and I
We
think
did have
that
fun.
those are
It's
the
good.
important things. It is a system that I wouldn't mind poking around again at a later date.
Yeah.
But yes, I enjoyed it. If anybody watching, liked anything that we did, I would encourage you to find the book and at least maybe get it in PDF to check it out and read it. Any narrative game, there are things in here that you can take and use.
Yeah,
And-
it is a super narrative system.
It
And
is
if
it's
you
super
wanna-
narrative, yes.
And you could really easily play like just purely, like you'll notice in this case, we didn't really do that much like fighting. So if you wanted to do like a more cozy style game, you could probably do that in this system, I think.
You
Where
definitely
your
could.
characters are exploring and salvaging and not really fighting, which is kind of a
Mhm.
cool, which is kind of different.
And I'll plug it once and I'll probably plug it again because it's the end of the episode. If you guys have ever seen digital resources for a game, the Charsmith or whatever it is, they put a Wildsea digital character sheet together that is phenomenal in terms of digital resources. Like I don't know, I don't know how many games I've seen with such a really well informed way to manage your Wildsea campaign. So I think if you guys if we don't say at least one thing about digital stuff, I think that's a good, it's a good extra, like
It's a good one.
It's
it's a good one. They did good. They should be proud of the work that they did to make this a very user friendly and an easy to reference character sheet.
Yeah.
So that's all I got. We'll
All right.
talk about it more Monday.
We'll talk
Yeah.
about it more. Yeah, next episode after this one.
Yep.
If you had any thoughts, leave us a comment below. You
Yeah.
can find us on social media. We are at Rollwise. You can
Mhm.
email us, rollwiseguys@gmail.com. Brent?
And as always, roll well, roll wise, and be safe out there, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.